Hello, and you can barely see me because I'm bouncing in and out of existence. May the 4th be with everyone. We're here
And
to
also
do.
Yep. And with your spirit.
We're here to do a Star Wars character draft. The way we're going to do this, it's going to be a snake draft, like most of our drafts, and it's going to be 8 rounds. So 5 people, 8 rounds. We're going to pick 40 characters. The only rule really there is that they have to have been introduced into Star Wars canon. So, Kira, you can't pick Mara Jade, even though you're in love with her. So you're just gonna have to get past that.
It happens.
The draft order is by last name alphabetically, and you don't know any of our last names, so I'm going to tell you who's going. So it's going to be Kier, then Josh, then Kim, then Cornsey, so I guess you know her last name, and then me. So at that point, it'll turn around snake draft style. We'll go 8 rounds, and we'll see what we come up with. Kier, you get to do the honors.
Cheers.
Number 1 overall pick. Let's see who we got.
I will serenade you. First off, I should have changed my name to Matt Ramsey. If there's any Twitter followers out there, Matt Ramsey. Number 1 pick. I'm taking a MySock Summer here with a bullet. It's going to be Princess Leia.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
No. Princess Leia. I'm sorry, there's Kim has the Princess Leia hairdo. I just had to
And
take
a
Princess
t-shirt
Leia.
on. You can't see that, but
You know, she was master politician, a Jedi Knight, leader of the rebellion. She was in all 3 sagas. She was a baby in episode 3. And then she was in episode 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I mean, she survived that whole thing. I mean, no spoilers. And the actress, I'm gonna go deep. Carrie Fisher. I mean, she lived an ultimate rock and roll lifestyle. She went out. She had cocaine and heroin in her system.
Flying first class.
Yes. Princess Leia with a bullet, number 1.
That's a great pick. I don't know.
heartbreaker, man.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's me next, and he's number 1 on my board. I'm going with the person that Princess Leia was asking for help in New Hope. I'm going with Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I find Obi-Wan's story in all types of canon, whether it's the prequels, which I think Ewan McGregor did an awesome job playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. And of course, Alec Guinness is Alec Guinness in the original trilogy. But even like in the Clone Wars, I really enjoy the expansion of the character that we got, watching those 7 seasons and learning more about Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he wasn't the best Jedi ever, but he is critical on how the story works as far as Star Wars, especially his epic battle with Anakin Skywalker and long-term babysitting for Luke Skywalker. So that's why I'm going with Obi-Wan Kenobi number 1, and I'm very excited to see what Deborah Chow does with the new Disney Plus series focusing on Obi-Wan Kenobi. If it's as good as The Mandalorian, I think people will be even more pumped up about Obi-Wan.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited for that show.
I love Obi-Wan. The only knock against Obi-Wan is he's supposed to hide this kid, and he keeps his own last name and his name Skywalker. Terrible job.
Maybe.
Terrible job, Obi-Wan.
See, Obi-Wan, what should I call myself? Ben. Old Ben.
Oh, Ben.
How's that? Pretty close.
But gotta keep the Kenobi though. Can't go
Yes,
like
keep
too
Kenobi.
deep, you know?
No.
The baby
That's like the
Kenobi
Smith
is like
of the Star
Smith.
Wars galaxy. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Kim, you're up.
Okay, so I obviously am currently heartbroken in the number 1 pick, but so I am a full-fledged feminist. I love a strong female in story, and I really just think the last trilogy could have done better with their female characters. So my goal in the draft today is to basically build the U.S. women's national team of Star Wars characters.
Right.
So we go in ladies draft. We going full ladies draft today. Now, one caveat. I did ask Josh yesterday. I'm like, if in round 1 I just went and said I'm drafting the midi-chlorians, like, is that out? And he's like, well, they're not really a character. And I'm like, the Force is kind of a character though. Like,
It's everywhere.
exactly. But I'll spare you guys. I won't just like put that nail in the coffin right off the bat. But I've seen the main series of movies. But Josh watches a lot of Rebels. He watches a lot of Clone Wars, and so do our friends. And the more I hear about her, the more interested I am. So I'm going Ahsoka Tano,
Yes.
round 1.
Strong 3.
I have never seen any of the animated series, and the more I hear about her, the more I want to watch it. We saw a couple episodes the other day where she was a main character, and I was super interested. And I'm really interested to see if she starts showing up in a lot of these Disney Plus shows. So I'm just check her out round
She
1.
will be.
She will be in The Mandalorian second season.
Live action.
So
Rosario
excited.
Dawson will be playing her.
Oh,
So
that's-
Val, did you watch season 7 of the Clone Wars? Have you
Yes, we-
finished it?
we just
yes,
watched
we
the
finished
end.
it. It is amazing.
The last 4 episodes may go down as some of the best content in Star Wars
Yeah.
lore.
Yes.
And I love the pick, Kim, because Ahsoka Tano,
Me too.
after watching Rebels and after watching the last season of Clone Wars, she's definitely in my top 5. And at first I thought if you're going to have an older Ahsoka Tano, my first casting choice would have been Halle Berry, especially after watching John Wick 3.
Ooh.
But now with it being Rosario Dawson, I just, first time I heard that, I told Kim, that's perfect. Yep, that totally makes sense. She's gonna do awesome in the role, and I'm super excited to see Ahsoka Tano in live action.
yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And there's still the rumor that they're going to do another animated series post Rebels with Sabine and Ahsoka.
Mm.
I won't tip any future picks though. So Hornsey, go ahead. You're up.
We have a
All right.
very strong top 3, by the way.
Yeah,
This is strong.
Yeah.
A lot of my top 5 is knocked out already. I'm going to go with the original scoundrel, the scruffy-looking nerf herder, Han Solo.
I love that pick.
He was number 2 on my list.
Yeah. Gotta almost all the okay, the later movies, but yeah, key character right there.
Good novels too.
Mhm.
I think the novels were better than the Solo movie. That Solo
Yeah.
movie didn't do much for me.
I liked it. It grows on you after
Yeah.
more watches, but I would still love a Solo too.
The Solo movie to
just
me
for fun.
it felt standalone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
like a heist movie. It just
Yeah.
felt like it almost didn't feel like it was part of the whole universe, until
The very end,
end.
right?
Right.
Until the very end.
Yeah.
The only thing I really didn't like about Solo was I don't find Paul Bettany a very convincing villain.
You know who that was supposed to be? That
Right.
was it was Michael K. Williams
Right.
from The Wire.
Which would have been
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And I know it was kind of like a last minute who's available kind of a thing, but to me it just kind of lowers the rewatchability of Solo. Like I love a good villain. I really do. And I just man, that one just disappointed me a little bit, but that's okay.
I do want to say one of the reasons why Empire Strikes Back for me is still at the very top is Harrison Ford's performance as Han Solo with the number 1 pick, Princess Leia. I think that dynamic, every time we rewatch Empire Strikes Back, the banter between them, it keeps me laughing still to this day. It's the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back this upcoming summer. It's still funny. And the love story that builds between Leia and Han and the heartbreak at the end in the City of the Clouds when he gets frozen, I think that's what makes Empire Strikes Back the best of the movies. Despite Luke Skywalker finally finding out that Darth Vader is his father and you have that lightsaber battle. For me, it's Han Solo that makes Empire Strikes Back with Princess Leia the best of the Star Wars movies. So Val, that's an awesome first round pick.
So I can't, and to Kim's point, I love a good villain. So I can't believe you guys have left me easily the best character in the Star Wars universe. It's James Earl Jones, man. Darth Vader.
You're
Darth
welcome.
Vader is definitely that was the number one on my list. So I was happy to get it. I know that the prequels may have ruined him a little bit
Never.
by
Never.
making Anakin
He's too
such a
emo.
whiny little bitch, but
Yes.
the end scene of Rogue One brought it all back. Like that fit
Yeah.
everything. It was all worth it after that. You could
It
put
just
that last
adds.
90 seconds on the end of Plan 9 from Outer Space and would have
Yes.
made it a great movie.
I mean, that is the main reason I rewatched Clone Wars, that the last season, the last episode today, like 5 times, that last scene.
Oh yeah, terrific.
Because
last
they-
scene.
Adds to it, and of course the insaneness of Anakin in the prequels just adds to his dimensions, because
Yes.
the Clone Wars Anakin makes up even adds that other level. Like,
Yeah.
I just love it. I love him.
Yeah, from the temple on in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin's great. But before
Yes.
that, yeah, whatever.
No, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And Anakin Clone Wars, I think, is a great character.
Yeah.
You could really understand that, yes, he is an up-and-coming Jedi, and his power is right there with Yoda and Mace
Mhm.
Windu, and they're just holding him back. And yeah, that transition when he goes into Darth Vader. I mean, even with Emperor Palpatine, I still think Darth Vader is the best baddie that Star Wars has.
Oh,
period.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
No
yeah.
doubt.
I mean, like, when I was a kid, I mean, I was terrified of him, you know?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
as I grew up, I realized, yeah, what a great character he was. Just
Then you saw Coming to America, and you're like, oh, I'm a big Darth Vader fan.
if he would have worn that lion over it would have
Oh,
completed
that
the
would have been
costume.
everything.
Would have
And
completed
every time he walked in, I would have needed like, "Here comes your king." Like, I would have been into it.
like Tarkin
100%.
throwing flower petals at his feet.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I mean, and I think what makes Darth Vader such a great villain is that he's complex, right? Like Palpatine was always the drive for power, always. But Darth Vader's motives kind of fluctuate throughout the whole series to the point where it's like, is he gonna, like, what exactly is he in this for? And is he gonna find his way back? So that really speaks to me in terms of like character progression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think he kind of thinks himself to be a good guy. Like he thinks he's like he's bringing peace. Like that's his whole thought.
Yeah.
For my next pick, I got to go rule of 2 here and stick with this. So I'm gonna go Emperor Sheev, Sex Machine Palpatine.
Man, I cannot wait for those adult novels to come out featuring him
Oh,
and all his love stories that we missed out.
Well, but
I mean,
do we know though? Like that was a thing. Like,
I hope it is. I want it to be a thing.
well, he had a son, but wasn't the son a clone? So maybe he, you know,
They're
like we
all
didn't
types of
ever.
babies
I know
or
that
something.
that was a
don't want to
bastard
believe
child.
that. I don't want to believe that there was any cloning involved in his children.
No, zero.
I mean, for the pure entertainment factor, I'm here for 50 Shades of Palpatine.
Like
But
Yes, absolutely.
him courting a woman would just be so awkward and so perfect. Like I'm in for it.
Mhm.
Well, we don't know his life on Naboo, so
True.
Well,
and
that
I mean, every politician has the like wife beard, right? Whether
Mm.
I mean, all politicians have hidden
in.
secrets, so I mean,
yeah.
unless he was the Lindsey Graham of Star Wars, as far as the Republic Senate.
oh,
and although like his time on Naboo, I mean there's a lot of different alien races there too. So you might have all kinds of different different kids going around. Like I'm
Maybe
just gonna-
Jar Jar was his son.
Oh my God, get out!
yes, I believe it.
They
Canon,
never-
it's canon now. It's out there.
Write it in.
they never did the Darth Jar Jar arc that was proposed on
Darth
Reddit, and
Jar Jar.
I'm always sore that it didn't happen. All right, Cornsy, you're up.
Okay. All right, gonna have to stick with the greats, the greats here, and go with the greatest Jedi of all time, Yoda.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
That's a very solid pick.
I like it.
Very solid. Man,
I
you got
love how
Han Solo and Yoda.
I
My
know.
gosh.
I mean, he's green. He's 900 years old. Greatest Jedi probably of all time, right? I mean,
Easy.
He's
Yeah.
got to be up there
Forever.
for sure.
As a Force ghost.
He's the MJ of Jedi for sure. He's like, he's so great when they first meet him, and he's
Yeah.
just kind of a dick, and
Yeah.
he's just like throwing Luke's stuff around and messing with him to just see how irritated he can get him. It's very impressive.
I love the fact that he didn't die at the hands of the Sith. He went naturally.
Yeah.
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 Of like all the Jedi, like who can say that?
He got in his little shuttle and just jetted out of there.
Well, I also like that he just like when they tried to kill him in Order 66, he just cut some heads off. Like he didn't even
Yes.
flinch.
Also his skit in Chappelle Show with the sex scandal, top notch. Top notch.
Now that's a graphic novel we need, right? Like,
Now,
That Jedi Academy sex scandal, yeah. It was fun.
I'm looking forward to his 50 Shades story arc when we find out that he is somehow responsible for the child.
Him and
Right.
Yaddle got down. It's
we don't know where
lonely in
else
this
there
town.
ain't nobody else. So
Kim, you're up.
okay, I'm going to continue the ladies draft. She obviously played a very key role in Darth Vader becoming who he was. She was an incredible politician and a queen. So Padme.
Yeah,
Um,
good one.
I mean, when you watch the prequels, like you just see so much of Leia and Padme. And I mean, it's really cool. Like mother and daughter never really met each other, but obviously the legacy is still being carried on.
Yeah, the only creepy thing in the prequels with Padme is in knowing what you know by the end of them, the look she gives Anakin at the end of the first one.
Yeah, where she's
Well,
like, oh,
when
we
he's
totally
like
gonna
8.
do it when
Yeah.
you're old enough.
He's like 17 years old and he's like 5.
Yeah.
She's like, all right.
Yeah, it's,
20 years it'll be okay.
Kid can
Yeah.
race my pod any day.
Chosen one.
oh my gosh. All right.
So great in the Clone Wars, like
Mm-hmm.
some of the best escape scenes. Like, but she got out of so much
So many things.
on her own.
Yeah. And she's
No,
got
she
this
wa-
like full-on Batman style utility belt in the
She was
first
good with
one
the
where
blaster.
they're like trying to
was-
get back into the Naboo Palace. You know,
Yeah.
she's got the grappling hook and the blaster and the girl, you ready? All right, let's do this.
Josh, you're up.
Okay, so I'm kind of deciding between two, and I'm wondering if one of my two is going to come back to me. I'm pretty confident. So I'm going to go with Luke Skywalker in
Oh,
the
yeah.
second round.
I was waiting to see when he would go off the board because I mean,
And,
obviously, tremendous character.
Yeah, and pair him up with Obi-Wan Kenobi, so I have that. That's got to be a pair bonus, right? I mean, that should boost my stock here, like Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine, right? So I don't like. I have a confession. I don't like The Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker in the first half. I do think as the movie progresses, though, I understand the directorial choices that Rian Johnson went with Luke Skywalker, why he shut himself off from the Force, why he went into hiding. But maybe the most badass Jedi moment of all time is projecting himself onto a different planet, okay? And
And then you
fooling
just
Kylo Ren and the First Order to buy time for the Resistance to be saved by Rey. That took incredible force power to do. I don't think we've seen anything on that level that Luke did. And I'm glad that it was Luke Skywalker, because obviously we grew up with Luke and we watched him progress with his Force abilities, but there is still that big gap on how he went from Return of the Jedi, where he started to become really strong, to super strong in The Last Jedi, to be able to have a rejection of himself onto another planet and fight Kylo Ren. I don't think that's a spoiler alert if you've seen the new movies.
Man,
But that's why I'm going to go with Luke Skywalker. Yeah. If you haven't seen the new movies, it'd be interesting in why you're in this draft. But yeah, so I got Luke and I got Obi-Wan. So I'm happy with my
Right.
first two picks.
right.
I do love that he after he does that, he does the dust off of the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is very, it's a very fantastic move.
And he basically like hands Leia some fuzzy dice, dusts his shoulder off, and is like, "All right, bye."
And
Yeah.
I totally didn't know that he would. I guess I didn't realize it until, he comes out of that cloud, that first blast cloud. And
I mean, I still thought he was physically there. I mean, most of us did. Like, I didn't think he was projecting from another planet. I was like, this man's just the strongest Jedi of all time. It's Luke Skywalker.
yeah.
I
Like,
did,
there's-
and I noticed also, like, it's like his beard was different and stuff, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, man, they really left some continuity errors in here. What are they doing?
But what gets me is that he projects himself onto another planet, but he physically hands Leia an object.
Yeah.
Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
Like, that to me is just where I'm like, wait a minute, how is he not real?
Yeah.
That was an incredible kind of end to his journey. Like, that was,
Yeah.
I like
That's going out in the blaze of glory for sure.
I really feel like Rise of Skywalker made me like Last Jedi even more.
Oh, yeah.
Not for any good reasons, but
Not start on that.
all right. Here you got the turnaround, man. Give me
All right. Well, I'm going to start off. I mean, there's two people in this chat with R2D2 items on or in the background. So R2D2, I'm going with the first, astromech in here. I mean, he has to be the most famous astromech out of Star Wars, right? Like, people are taking him
easy.
over C-3PO.
Yeah.
I mean, and he brings so many more assets to the table. How many times he saved everyone? Episode 1, he saved the ship. Like, without that, there's nothing.
Mhm.
Episode 1, they made his first appearance, and he just got them out of so many things and had his mind erased and brought back. I mean, R2D2 and Kenny Baker. That's
Yeah.
it.
Great choice.
He
Love that.
saved
pick.
them like 50 times throughout Clone Wars.
Yes, it was countless times. Like, I was going through the Clone Wars today, and every picture was R2D2 like flying or saving someone. I'm like, I forgot about all these.
Yeah.
All right, you got another one.
All right, we're gonna go Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Thrawn here. I just started reading the novel.
Oh,
Obviously, I watched Rebels. Such an amazing character.
Yeah.
Not force sensitive, but he can handle any Jedi or any Sith. Like, he can wrangle anyone. It's just amazing what he can do, and it's just amazing as a non-human. You know how much the Empire, they despise non-humans and aliens. Promoted so quickly, just amazing.
Yeah, I mean he's great in Rebels. Like, that's
Mhm.
just fantastic stuff. And I look forward to more animated stuff with him. But those books are
I know.
fantastic.
Hey, no spoilers. I just started book 1.
Yeah, no. Well, what I was gonna say was also, like, if you're not familiar with Thrawn, he was in Legends. He's the books immediately after Return of the Jedi. Basically,
Yep.
takes over the Empire.
Yep.
And is fighting to keep the Empire together. And those books are fantastic, and he's incredible in it. There's some weird cloning Jedi stuff in there, but
Yep.
you get past that.
Yeah.
But he was such a good character. I was glad to see them bring him back, and I was a little worried though of, like, how are you going to fit this into this kind of storyline? And they do such a good job with it. He's just incredible. Like,
I mean, it amazes me that those novels came out 30 years ago, and they can still write them in to this current canon. Just fits, like, he was there the whole time.
Yeah, Rebels did a great job. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a great pick. I love that pick. I mean, Admiral Thrawn was definitely in my top 25. So
Yeah.
that's a great pick. All right, I'm going to stay with Rebels. And my assumption was right. I'm going to go with another Jedi. And I'm going with Kanan Jarrus, also was Caleb Doom from Star Wars Rebels. And if you haven't seen Rebels, I highly recommend it. And I think what sets Kanan Jarrus apart is that he survived Order 66. He was a Padawan. He cut himself off from the Force. And he didn't embrace being a Jedi until he met Ezra Bridger. And his journey from someone that was not confident in his abilities of being a Jedi and really hesitant to train somebody else the path of the Jedi, and just taking us on this voyage in Star Wars Rebels, learning so much about the Jedi lore, and the fact that he, spoiler alert, does go blind in battle. He's not the strongest fighter, but he did stave off one Inquisitor. And his final act, though, as a character, is also one of the top 5 best Jedi moments ever. And I just love the character arc of Kanan Jarrus, and that's why I'm going with him in the 3rd round. And I think he's an underrated Star Wars character, and I think he really makes Star Wars Rebels, especially in seasons 3 and 4, where it's up there with the Clone Wars and some of the other movies as some of the best Star Wars content out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed. Just a fantastic character. Also, if you get a chance, the book that leads up to Rebels with him and Hera is really good. Also, I did like it. This is kind of a little fan service thing they did at the end, towards the end of Clone Wars, but seeing young Caleb Dune in a little quick shot was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Kim, you're up. Who's the next lady on the list?
All right. So I've got, the scorned Jedi and the great politician. I feel like I need a really good fighter, like someone that's just going to get in there and get dirty. So I'm going with Cara Dune.
Yes.
I love Gina Carano's character from The Mandalorian. I love that she came out of this like special ops in the Empire kind of background, and now she's like, okay, I get to decide what's right now. I get to start blazing my own trail, and she's just a badass. So I'm all in on Cara Dune.
Shock Trooper, right?
Yes.
Shock Trooper.
I would love to know like a little bit more backstory as her as a shock trooper. I think that is an aspect of Star Wars that we just haven't gotten to see, especially for the Rebels. The life of a shock trooper. That would be a cool mini series to have.
I'm hopeful that in season 2 they start to kind of flash back to some of these other characters' backstories the way they did with Din in season 1.
Yeah.
Get a little more Cara Dune, I'm interested in Greef Karga too. He could be a very interesting character, but Cara for sure. Like, she had to have seen some crazy shit.
Absolutely. Like, how'd you escape Endor, right? Like the Battle of Endor. Like that would be really cool to get that type of story. Like, I feel like her story is just beginning, and there's definitely a lot more that Jon Favreau or any of the new Star Wars directors, maybe even Deborah Chow, can really explore more into her background. Like, that's a good pick, Kim. I'm really interested to see on how her story unfolds.
Yeah, she just exudes cool, and we don't even know that much about her.
Right.
Yeah.
So really excited to learn more.
Quincy, you're up.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start working on my female list. Now,
Yay!
I don't think that this lady is on a lot of people's lists because I feel like she could have been portrayed in a better light. It could have done a lot more. And it's Rey Palps Skywalker. So this poor lady, she grew up on a dirt planet, and then she sacrificed her life for the Resistance, and then she retired to a barren desert planet.
At the ripe age of 23, she retired.
And
that's my dream, yo. Like, where do I get that shoe deal or whatever I need to do to retire at 23? Not that hasn't come and gone already, but
Rey Palpatine Skywalker retired at the age of 23 to Scottsdale, Arizona.
Basically, that's what it was.
living the dream until it hits July. That's all I'm saying.
She needs to be brought back with Han. You know, they didn't get to work together enough
Yeah.
in their travels, and I could tell they would do well together, and so I'm adding her.
Well, there's one guy that kind of messed that up for them, but
Yeah.
all right. Speaking of the guy that messed that up for them,
Good tie.
I'm gonna stay on the bad guy train here, and I'm gonna go Kylo Ren.
Oh,
Okay.
I really liked. I actually
you're gonna separate Ray and no.
Real.
I thought I was gonna hate that character at the beginning of Force Awakens. I really kind of felt like they did like emo Darth Vader. Like I wasn't digging it. And as the character grows and the complexity grows and like his struggle within himself grows, and I really think The Last Jedi brought that character together, and that made that character really good to me. I really enjoyed even the stuff in Rise of Skywalker. I thought I kind of feel like Adam Driver kind of carried that last trilogy.
Absolutely.
I did like it was like a fake article about Adam Driver with having to have back surgery after carrying all those actors for 3 years.
Yeah. Adam Driver carries those 3 movies.
He
Yes.
does. He's awesome in those. And so Kylo Ren is my pick there.
Very nice.
I think that's an excellent
think
third round
it's a great
pick.
pick. Yeah, because again, it's one of those I love a good villain, and you can't tell if you're supposed to hate him or cheer for him. Like, it's a very complicated relationship. So I like the pick a lot.
I'm gonna stick with villains because I think there's
Cool.
one that's just amazing that's still sitting out here.
I know who you're
And
thinking.
I'm gonna take Maul.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not calling him Darth Maul because I think his best work is after
Yes.
he was Darth Maul. Like,
Yep.
guy gets cut in half,
Oh.
and they're like, well, we should bring this guy back. It was very soap opera-ish, bringing back a guy who's been cut in half, but it worked. And
Somehow, Maul
And him-
has returned.
him in Clone Wars, and we actually we just rewatched I think it's the end of season 2 of Rebels, where they're in the Sith temple, and it's
Yep.
it's Maul,
Great stuff.
Maul with Ezra, and part of me wishes Ezra would have went to the dark side and became friends with Maul there. That would have been
They
quite a
would have
team.
been worthy adversaries of the Empire, that's for sure.
Yeah, they would have. Yeah, I mean,
Maul is a survivor.
Yep.
We'll say that. That's all.
I even love the spider scene with him when
Oh my
he's like
God.
living underground. I everything he does, and like, so I'm really hoping that they make like kind of a underworld show, maybe kind of either juxtapose, like make it a subplot maybe of like Kenobi, or of if there's ever a Han Solo show, like
Yeah.
a subplot. I would love that, and have Maul in there. And
That's why I wanted a Solo 2 to get a little more, maybe not Solo 2, but maybe that time period, but focused on Maul.
yeah, that'd be
Well,
awesome.
hey, if Ahsoka Tano tests really well at Mandalorian 2 and we get a live action Ahsoka Tano show, you would have to think after Clone Wars, spoiler alert,
Absolutely.
that Maul would have to be involved.
Yeah.
And the best lightsaber battles ever.
Oh man.
Maul against Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn, Maul against the Inquisitors, Maul
Obi-Wan.
against Ahsoka Tano,
Every single
Maul against Obi-Wan. I mean, those are the best lightsaber battles in Star Wars history, and he's involved in all of them. I mean, he's skillful tactician, just a devilish strategist as well. I mean, he took over Mandalore. He ruled the Mandalorians, and he had the Darksaber for a while. Just a brilliant villain. I love that pick, Treasy. I think Maul deserves a lot more credit. I know a lot of people are like, wait a second, I saw the first movie. I saw him get cut in half. The dude is dead.
Yeah, he's gone.
Well, no.
know.
He's and especially if you like Rise of Skywalker, you can understand that nobody ever leaves.
Obi-Wan killed him twice, and I'm pretty sure he's probably still alive.
That is definitely a spoiler alert, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
If he's gonna keep making money, they'll bring him back.
If the reason for anyone to come back is somehow so-and-so has returned, then you can use it at any point now. It is now canon.
It's true.
Right?
Somehow.
I guess, yeah. No, that's a great pick.
All right, Quincy, you're up.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. So I'm going to need a co-pilot. So I have to go with Chewie on this,
Oh.
Very nice.
even though all his friends are temporary. He is my top. He's my next pick.
I love your draft so far. You got Han, you got Yoda, you got Rey, and you got Chewbacca. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
really digging your draft class here.
Just wait till I move into Clone Wars and Rebels here.
All right, all right.
I love that Chewbacca he's so badass. He's like, I'm like 200 years old. I'm still not learning your language. You gotta know what I'm saying.
And I'll rip your arms off if you don't listen.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wonder if it's just like literally a biology thing.
Like he can't.
He physically cannot speak.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. Who knows?
He understands the basic language, but he can't, say it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have the muscle mechanics. Yeah, like you said, the biology.
Right. Or the vocal cords are different. I don't know.
Nevertheless, everyone can tell what he's talking about.
Yes.
I mean, I guess that's the same with like people that speak droid, like R2D2's beeps and boops somehow makes sense to people.
See, but I feel like half the people will like make a face when R2 or like BB-8's talking, like, what did that guy say? But like Chewbacca,
True.
everyone's just like, ah, yes.
Oh yeah, totally.
In fact, I'm going to respond half your sentence so everyone else knows what you're talking about.
Right, exactly.
I love when they do that.
Kim, you're up.
Okay, so I feel like in my little ladies team, I really need a spark plug. Like, I really just need someone that is willing to move the team forward, motivate, hustle. So I'm going with Sabine Wren.
Nice.
She's just the little bit that I've seen of her. She's very plucky. I love a good, Mandalore story. And now isn't she like supposed to be in possession of the Darksaber, and like she's got some cool shit. Her mom was in the what is it, the Night Watch or whatever it is. So again, I'm like just learning all these things, but I'm already a fan.
Yes, Sabine can blow a lot of shit up. Like
Yes.
that was definitely made
Listen.
apparent in that show.
I'm here for a girl that blows shit up.
This is a dynamite team you got going here. I mean,
Thank
like,
you. I'm telling you, women's national team. That's what we're going for.
I hope you guys can get paid. So,
with who?
It's that.
That's
No,
why we got
it's that.
Padme.
Ridiculous.
That's why we got Padme. She's ready to go to the Senate.
good.
It's
She's
true.
taking that case all the way up.
Kim's got 3 fighters and a politician right now. She's going far.
If you need Leia at all, I am willing to lend her for your cause. So you're good.
I mean,
Padme's got.
I feel like I need Leia to be like the Nick Fury to my A-Force. Like,
Okay.
I just need her to like direct my Avengers.
Oh, all right.
Josh,
So
you're up.
I'm going to stay on the Mandalorian path after Sabine Wren, and I'm going with Din Djarin, who is the Mandalorian for the new show. I really love the character arc. There's more to his story, and the way that I'm going through a rewatch right now of The Mandalorian, the way that he approached the mission to see Baby Yoda, the child. And again, just another badass character. All the Mandalorians are just badass. And I think in a live action, with Boba Fett, he didn't do much. He just looked cool.
Yeah.
And Jango Fett held his
completely
own
agree.
against Obi-Wan Kenobi. But it's really Din Djarin and the live action things that we have seen that has really lived up to the lore of the Mandalorians. Because if you watch the animated series in Clone Wars and Rebels, Mandalorians are maybe the best warriors after the Jedi. They may be the only ones that can actually truly stand up to the Jedi without using the Force.
Yeah.
So I really love the Mandalorian, and I love the character Din Djarin, and that's who I'm adding to my team right now.
I love that pick. He's that character and that show. Between that and this last season of Clone Wars, like, I'm upset that Dave Filoni was not involved at all in the last 3 movies. Like, that's
me
just
too.
Like,
You want to have a 2-hour podcast about that? Because I can go off. I can just go off right now on that.
We've had a very long conversation about how Star Wars needs a Kevin Feige. Like, they just need somebody that just sits at the top of creative and weaves together all of these storylines in the movies and in television to make magic in the long run.
And
right?
Treasy, I think Dave's the guy.
Yeah.
I think Dave is the guy to do that.
Had him on the sideline when it's just nuts to me.
He's the backup looking over the shoulder and should have been there the whole time.
What I'm excited to see is now that Din's all got the blanket on the metal that they use, but he's impervious to that dark saber now. So I want to see how that goes in the next season. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm again love a good villain. I'm really excited for more Moss Gus. And the dark side. I'm so excited. Giancarlo Esposito just plays such a good bad guy.
He's just trying to expand his chicken empire, okay?
Listen, I will eat it, Los Pollos Hermanos, all day.
When that dark saber first came out, I was like, I don't remember where.
You're like,
to be reminded of what that was. It was just so cool.
The meaning of it, yeah.
Here, you got the turn.
All right. Sorry to do this to you, but I'm going to take Jyn Erso.
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
From Rogue One. That was probably my favorite movie of the new movies.
For sure.
Maybe my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
I
up
agree.
there.
Empire Strikes Back, yes. Actually, don't mind Return of the Jedi, but yeah, Rogue One, that was amazing. It was just, I wasn't expecting that out of a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And it was everything that I wanted.
Agree with.
Perfect. And she was a perfect character in that movie. Her novel was fantastic. I just finished that a month ago. You got to read her novel if you haven't. It gives her a whole backstory. It's amazing, like her upbringing and just how she learned what she did. She's a fighter. She's a hacker. Just she's basically been on her own since she was 5 or 6 years old. So amazing.
I think the thing that I loved about Jyn so much is that in this world where it's like the Jedi and the Sith, she kind of reminds us that normal people really can tip the tables, right? Like, you don't have to have this like crazy amount of force power to make a difference. And it's just sort of like normal people, like, if you have an issue, rise up, rebel. There's a healthy amount of rebellion, right? And I don't know about the team, but I mean, I think there's a healthy amount of rebellion that's been good for us in 2020. Not necessarily going out to the bars, getting sick, but just keeping in mind like what the bigger picture is and how you, even if you're playing a small part, can still make a difference.
Yeah, that's
next pick.
Yeah, you're up again.
Mace Windu. Man,
Oh yes.
who doesn't love some good Mace? He was probably one of the best fighters the Jedi had. He honestly was about to take out Palpatine until Anakin had to ruin the day. I mean, it's still one of the saddest scenes. I get upset watching that scene because I'm like, Anakin, you can stop right now. You don't have to do this. Like, you're about what Mace is about to do. Just let this happen. I mean, obviously it would ruin the movies, but but
we're just gonna retcon a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
we were watching that scene the other day, and I was just like, you know what? At any moment, I mean, I don't believe that he dies from falling over the cliff like that. And I don't believe that anyone dies that way anymore. So who knows?
True.
I mean, it doesn't help when you get shocked by lightning, force lightning. So
If you
But-
watch it, he only flies like 400 or 500 feet out of the window. Like it's
And then really thousands of feet down.
But he's like a Jedi, right? Like you can just like force
Go fly,
parachute
go fly.
yourself, you know?
I mean, you've seen the new movies, like they can fly now, so you're good.
Obviously. We went to Disney World last year and we made lightsabers and I had to have a purple one
Absolutely.
because all about Mace Windu and obviously my lightsabers for cutting motherfuckers. So had to go with the purple.
Great.
Josh, you're up, man.
All right, so I'm going with another animated character here that plays a pretty prominent role and helps as far as with especially a lot of the backstory. If you're interested in Anakin Skywalker, especially, and I'm going with Rex. And Rex, especially the end of Clone Wars and into Rebels, it's just this path of being a clone and finding a higher purpose than what they were made for. Like, what does it mean to be human? And I think you learn that through the eyes of Rex. And he is such a great soldier, and he is a relic of the Clone Wars. And the relationship that he had with Anakin Skywalker, like that's what set Anakin Skywalker apart from the other Jedi. Anakin actually cared about his clone troops. Anakin actually cared about the well-being of his droids. And that's something that Obi-Wan Kenobi had to learn from Anakin. Obi-Wan early on did not care about the clones. Like he knew Cody and Cody was his commander, but he didn't have that type of bond that Anakin did with Rex. And that's why Anakin and Rex in every battle, they just did more substantial damage than Obi-Wan did because I think of that teamwork. And with Rex pairing up with Ahsoka Tano just kind of carries that story forward. And I hope he also makes an appearance in The Mandalorian because that I think would be an awesome tag-along story along with Ahsoka Tano and fingers crossed Sabine Wren as well in The Mandalorian 2. But yeah, that's who I'm going to go with in the 5th round. I'm going with Rex.
That would be awesome, especially if they finish off I know they've kind of said it might be him, but if they like just finish off the retcon of him being one of those guys on Endor,
Yeah.
like the guy with the
Gray
great
beard.
supposedly him. I'd love it if he just like made reference to it in the like he's in the Mandalorian for 5 minutes, makes reference to being with Han Solo on Endor, and then just it doesn't have to be in anything else for the rest of the series. All right, which way are we going here? We got.
I think it's Kim.
Okay. So I need someone that is going to keep my ladies well stocked. I need somebody that is going to make sure they have everything they need. So I'm going with the perfect pirate herself, Maz Kanata.
Yes.
I love Lupita Nyong'o to start with, so I was so excited when she was going to be in Star Wars, and I just need to know more. I need to know how she got these lightsabers. I need to know what she was doing in The Last Jedi, where they're like, hey girl, can you help us like break this code on Snoke's vessel? And she's like, I could, but I'm busy. And she's like blowing shit up. Like, I need so much more of her in my life. And so I need her on my team.
Yeah, and she owned a cantina, so you need to be able to.
That's
Yeah,
true.
we need to stay nicely watered. And hashtag
Hashtag
108.
108. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they were ever going to make a Star Wars comedy, like film that in her cantina. I mean, like you've got thousands of years of
Star Wars version of
Star Wars
Cheers.
Cheers? Yes.
They could have Woody Harrelson in it. I mean, he was.
Yeah.
He was Solo, so I mean,
Chewie is Norm. Every time
Yeah.
he walks out, everybody's like, Chewie.
See the weird flirting between her and Chewie in a comedy would be worth.
Right? Oh, that's what I need. I need that.
I'll write it into the sex novel too that I'm working on. So
Oh, please.
hope you get
Maybe that's
Subplot of the
who
company.
Palpatine's always had his eye on. Who knows?
it. You got it.
That's Ray's grandmother.
The family resemblance. I mean, I guess it would make sense why she's got the lightsaber for Rey.
Yeah, she knew where to go in the palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, she stole
was
it.
it. Come on, honey. This was in the well. You take it now.
She was at Sheev's house one night and she saw it. And she,
Sheeves.
Cornsey, you're up.
Okay, I was going back and forth between two ladies, but I think I need to flip over to the dark side. And because I know
Yes.
that this pick is coming up on a couple other lists here, and go with Asajj Ventress.
Such a good pick.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
a badass witch lady, so what more,
Yes.
what more do you
Love
need?
a witchy woman.
Trying
She
to
holds her
spell it.
own.
Very
Yeah.
tough.
Yes.
Yeah, woman. Yeah.
Master assassin, that's for sure.
She's worked with different groups, and you could see, because she even worked with Ahsoka in the late Clone Wars there.
Yep.
So you can see she has some, ability to be on the light side ish.
I mean, she teaches Quinlan Voss like Sith skills.
Yep.
He's a Jedi, so I mean, she definitely can be multi-dimensional. She doesn't go at one side. Like I said, she's a true assassin, like
Yeah.
bounty hunter.
Once she's not under Dooku anymore, I think that's where she really kind of opened up. Like it became a really great character in the series. But yeah, she was good all through it. And that book with her and
Quinlan
is really good.
Oh yeah, I haven't read that one yet. They just made it into like the paper form now.
Yeah,
it
it was
wasn't
weird 'cause
audio.
it came out as only audio when it
Yeah.
was which didn't bother me because I can't read. I just listen to All right, I got another turnaround. Maybe I get a couple more villains in here.
Hey.
Man, there's one guy that I can't believe is not picked, and I'm gonna leave him off and see if he comes all the way back around to me. But I'm gonna go with first. I'm gonna go with my guy Will Huff, Grand Moff Tarkin. This guy
Like it.
Oh man.
Tarkin, he's the one who blows up.
Oh, that guy.
He blows up Alderaan. He
Yes.
ruined their weekend. I think the best. I mean, like he's great in all the stuff that they've added later. But his main scenes in Star Wars are fantastic. And he's like, yeah. What's interesting to me is in A New Hope, Darth Vader just like chokes out anyone who gives him any shit, and Tarkin talks to him like a boy, just like he's just like, hey, look, you can't handle your daughter, so I got to come in here and work shit out and blow her planet. You just can't get the information we need, and so I just and Vader does nothing.
Yeah,
He
is
just
he the only
sits
one?
there and takes.
And
They backfill some of that in the books and stuff.
yes,
Okay.
And Kier, if you're reading the Thrawn books, you're in for some more really good Tarkin.
he just made his first appearance where I'm at. I'm on like page 300 of the first novel, so he's just making. They're starting to work with him.
I
books
feel
are
like
great.
if we're just gonna totally like go off the cuff and there's gonna be like 50 Shades of Palpatine and Maz Kanata's Cheers, like I need a Vader Tarkin buddy comedy.
Yes.
Like
Someone's
I
got
feel like the dynamic there would just be so good.
in the
There'd only be like 2 words spoken during the whole movie or show, but it would be fantastic.
That's fine.
They don't need to speak.
That's fine.
They don't
Slapstick is fine. We can do that.
Yeah, I'm in for that too. That would be amazing.
Yeah, but put that down. Put that down.
jot that down.
Buddy comedy.
Who do we
Tarkin
pitch this
Vader.
to? Because this is a great idea.
Now I'm trying to think of a name for it and not think of my next pick. But I'm gonna go with a future dark side Force user. They haven't revealed it yet, but I'm almost assured that this is going to be the case, and I'm going to take the child.
Ooh.
the child.
I thought about pulling that one and being like, we don't know if it's male or female yet. So
I feel like I don't know that, but I do feel like he's not growing up in an environment where he's gonna be good.
Right.
So I'm really rooting for little dark side energy. Him choke out a few more people. Maybe he turns back to the light, but let's get a little some Kylo Ren years out of him. That's
maybe,
all I'm-
maybe Baby Yoda becomes the master of the Darksaber. and just like toddles away with it and starts going crazy. Who knows?
We'll see how quickly it grows up too. Who knows? Might, I don't know how that species ages. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, Yoda was what, like 900 when he died?
I mean,
Never broke 4 foot. So I have no idea when you become an adult in that.
like, he's like 50.
It's not right.
How old is he in the series? 50 right now?
50.
Yeah.
He'll be 51 this season.
Oh, good for him. Happy birthday.
You never know. That may be their adolescence. It's
Yeah.
Right, he's just going to get moody and angry, and that's when he turns to the dark side, like little teenage.
Yeah.
Tiny Yoda.
Towards the year up.
Okay. All right, good. So I can go with my other lady pick that I had in mind. So I'm gonna need some help with I'm kind of manning the ship right now, so I'm gonna need some help with that. And this lady is underrated and very underutilized in the what do you call the new? It's not the new movies, the new trilogy.
The sequel trilogy?
The sequel, yeah. So Rose Tico.
Oh,
Nice.
See, I wasn't thinking you were going that direction. Okay.
I wasn't either.
She didn't get her due. I guess, and she.
I'm so
even
mad.
had some scenes with Ray that I heard about that didn't happen, and I know that they were filmed, and I'm just bummed that we didn't get more of Rose because Rose is awesome.
And I mean, like, I just feel like they needed to do more to stand behind Kelly Marie Tran too.
Oh yeah.
You know, I just anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Awesome.
I purposely disappeared during that conversation.
Were you one of the people writing
really
shitty things
frustrated.
on Kelly's
And
Instagram
I'll leave
page?
you with R2D2.
Plus, you can fix anything. So. Yeah.
All right, Kim, you're up.
Okay, I need a pilot. I need someone who can fly this thing. So I'm going with Hera Syndulla.
Oh, nice.
She's a revolutionary. She's a great pilot. And I need her to round out my team, I think. And that is where I thought Currency was going.
That's who
So did
On
I.
that last one. So I'm
So
like,
did I.
better get it in now.
Yeah. Hera was one of my best available to play Mel Kiper right now in our draft. She was
Okay.
up there on best available.
It was like
Thanks.
she was like the mama of the group of all of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And gals.
All right, Josh, who you got?
Okay. So my next pick, gosh, this is tough. All right, I'll go with another Jedi here. I'm surprised he's kind of fallen this far. I'm gonna go with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Nice.
He's best
Okay.
available on my board here, so I'm going to take the best Star Wars character available to play a little Mel Kiper. You know, Qui-Gon, as far as some background, you learn a little bit more on the animated series on his journey to find a way for the Jedi to have immortality. And obviously, he wasn't able to complete that training, and Yoda picks up where he left off to complete that path. But if you rewatch the first Star Wars movie, I think that Liam Neeson was great as Qui-Gon Jinn. I think he's one of the redeeming aspects of that movie. And I think he does such a great job in the live action of playing Master to Obi-Wan Kenobi as the Padawan. And on how he did have a little rebel in him against the Jedi Council, and he was the one to portray that not the Jedis didn't always agree. And I still think he made the right choice taking on Anakin Skywalker and being able to recognize him and start putting him down the path of becoming a Jedi. So in the 6th round, I think this is good value. I'm going to go with Qui-Gon Jinn, even though he got his butt kicked by Maul.
Hey, it happens to the best of them.
It's true.
Right. It's like, and it's Liam Neeson. Like, he's usually the one doing the butt kicking. Like,
Right.
this is really different scenario.
Yeah.
The thing you mentioned it about Anakin, but like I kind of felt like he's another character where you're just like, yeah, just if you just listen, none of this bad shit's gonna happen. just take the orders this one time, and you're gonna be all right.
he was big into the prophecies, so that was
He
his
was.
thing. That was Qui-Gon's thing.
Kier, you
Sure.
got to turn around, man.
So we're gonna go with another former Jedi, Count Dooku. That's gonna be
Oh, yes.
going with Count here. I mean, in the long run, he was just a puppet, but I felt like he held his own against the Jedi Order for a long time. And yeah, he helped build the story arc for a lot of characters in the Clone Wars, just Count in general. And my turnaround with that, they go hand in hand. General Grievous, I got to go Grievous.
Yeah, I was gonna
Nice.
say.
So you can't have Grievous without Dooku.
And honestly, Grievous and Dooku, if there wasn't like this master plan of creating this war, if it was a legit war, they may have won.
Yes.
They may have won the Clone Wars. Like the Separatists could have been the Republic.
Yeah.
And maybe they got some help with Darth Sidious, and that's why it was always so close. But I felt with their tactics and their ability to blockade hyperspeed paths,
Yes.
going real deep in Clone Wars here, guys. I like those picks a lot. Dooku and General Grievous were a great tag team villain.
I still feel like so the Dooku, like there was still an opportunity for him if he would have been able to kill Anakin instead of Anakin killing him.
Mm.
He would have just been Vader. Like that would have been. They would have just like I'm sure that like my guy Sheev always got the plan. He's always got the backup plan.
He
too.
has a backup to the backup to the backup.
Yeah, they would have went straight to Maz's Cantina right after that and sorted everything out, and they would have been just like Vader and Palpatine. All right, back to Josh.
All right, so I'm going with best character available again on my board, and I'm going with the smoothest man in the galaxy. I'm going with Lando Calrissian.
Hey,
I can't believe how long he lasted.
Yeah.
I am ready for Josh to just crack open that Colt 45. And
Colt 45 works every time.
there we go. Someone cap that one, and that's just like the thumbnail. Just the
No, I really enjoy. I mean, oh gosh, who played him again in Solo?
Donald, yeah.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, Donald Glover. I thought he did a great job portraying Lando. But obviously Lando in Empire Strikes Back takes that movie another notch, being introduced and, you know, turning the tables or backstabbing his friend to save his own butt, and then redeeming himself for Return of the Jedi to be the one to blow up the second Death Star. And I like the cameo in Rise of Skywalker, and to bring him back in the final movie of the Skywalker saga, I still think was very fitting, and he had the ability to have that moment. There's more of us.
Yeah.
So in the 6th round here, I'm going to go with Lando.
And yeah,
And I knew it was him. That was like the what I don't catch on to a lot of things, but when I first saw him with the mask on, I was like, oh, that's Lando.
Love it.
and he does have a bittersweet kind of moment at the very end of Rise of Skywalker, because he's like they won, but he's kind of sitting there and like
Lost a best friend.
these are not his
Yeah.
these are not his friends. Like
Right.
this is not his crew.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he still is Chewy,
And
but
yeah,
for the most part, it's like, where are my friends? Yeah.
yeah, he's just, and they kind of let him do that kind of look around, like I don't know these people.
What do I do now?
No, you could maybe have a Golden Girls spinoff. Chewie and Lando and Wedge Antilles could all join the Star Wars retirement home, and we can catch up on their gimmicks. Coming to Disney Plus. in
Right, and they're just
2022.
going to say eating cheesecake, and I'd watch it for sure.
Kim, you're up.
All right, I need someone to keep my girls looking good. I need them to sport fit. So I'm going with the Armorer from The Mandalorian.
Oh, love
She just has that moment in the finale where she just kicks some major ass, and I'm here for it. And fun fact, the actress that played her also played God's sister on Supernatural.
that.
So if she's good enough for God's sister, she's good enough for me.
This is the way.
This is the way.
I'm anxious now to find out if it's actually a character we know already.
Yeah, I don't know because we haven't seen the actress, so I'm not totally sure.
She's
Because
on
I was trying to see if I could figure that out, but
Interesting.
Well, it's not. Was it Katie Sackhoff?
No, because
So-
Katie is Bo-Katan.
Yeah, so that's not her. But yeah, I don't know, man. It could be a Mandalorian we've seen before.
Mm.
Hornsey, you're up.
Okay, so I need. I think it's time for a droid on my team.
okay.
So I have a couple on my list, but I think I'm gonna go with K2SO from
Love it.
That's a great pick.
because he can shoot. I was gonna go another route, but this one can shoot, and he's very intelligent. So I'm going with K2SO.
He's way
mean,
more
I
useful than most.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the sass too, it's just
Yeah.
top notch.
Yeah, we can confirm Rogue One is definitely top 5 Star Wars movie, right?
Oh,
If
yeah.
not
Oh,
top 3.
100%.
Yeah, it's
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to more K2SO. Like
Mhm.
Oh yeah, we're getting more, right?
the Cassian Andor series will feature
Yes.
Alan
Mhm.
Tudyk.
It
side-eye.
better. I need that in my life.
Yeah, more Alan
that's a
Tudyk,
great
please.
draft pick.
That's
so great.
that's the buddy comedy.
Yes.
It is.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Oh man, I got a turnaround here. Let's
You
see.
do.
Let's see what villains I have left. Oh,
Oh,
one,
that's your theme? I had
one-
no idea.
one of the all time. I mean, like I can't believe this guy's still on the board. Although I'm still not sure how he like is capable of rising to power. But he does, and that's Jabba the Hutt. Like the guy's arms can't even reach. I don't know how he fires a gun or whatever he does to fight, but somehow he's like a crime boss.
I always wondered that the whole Hutt clan, like how they stayed in power, because they weigh like 6 tons and they don't move. Like you said, they can't handle like guns. Like I don't understand. I'm very confused.
I have to think it's a money thing. You know, like the mob
is.
always had their enforcers.
Yeah,
like you
that's
don't
true.
want to do the dirty work. Like you need the plausible deniability, but you can keep them
Okay.
on the payroll.
That's why he's got Bosk and IG-88 and
Yes.
Yep.
His
all-
whole yeah.
Man, this is tough because
Ooh, is this starting the last round?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is I'm at the end of the run here. I can't go villain because there's someone on this list that I just want to take, and he's only really got one great line, but I cannot leave Admiral Akbar unpicked.
yes.
Admiral Akbar is in my top 50.
You guys tried to set a trap for me and leave him out there so I can blow right past him, but I'm not
It's a
gonna
tarp.
happen.
I love it.
Oh man.
Hornsey, you're up.
Oh, this is my last one. This makes it hard because
I know. Oh,
I gotta round it out, right? Like, man. All right, I've got some muscle. I've got a droid. All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm really getting down to not sure. All right, I'm gonna have to go with someone. I'm gonna have to go with Hondo Onaka.
Oh, I love
Yes!
I know, yes. He's on my list.
He just plays for every side, including himself. So I think that maybe he's such a good negotiator that maybe, and since I have some good like muscle and Jedi action, I'll have to. I think that rounds out my team pretty good.
I
I
mean,
love that pick.
Unkillable.
Hondo together. That's a team up right there. Love it.
Uh-huh.
I love Hondo Anaka. Every time Hondo is in an episode, I just love that episode immediately.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this episode's gonna be good. This is gonna be a good one.
you got very excited at Disney World.
Oh man!
Like walked in to the ride and was like, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. You're gonna have to be a little more specific.
I love that they brought him back for Rebels too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. All right, Kim, last pick.
There are so many really great women out there that I did not have the opportunity to pick, but I feel like I've got a really good team, but I need another like secondary leader. I need somebody that's really going to help round the team out, keep them together. So I'm going to go with the Duchess of Mandalore and Queen of Obi-Wan's Heart, Satine Kryze.
Yes. She was on my list for sure.
That's a deep cut.
Oh,
That is a deep
Satine.
cut.
So Satine. Their love story.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good
I would
one.
have went with her sister, but you got two queens now. I don't know. It's gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I would go, well, one was only temporarily a queen, so I'm going
That's
to go with that one.
That's true.
But, Josh being the Obi-Wan fan, I thought it felt fitting.
Josh, who are you going with for that last pick?
Yay!
Very nice.
Going with my bud, BB-8. So back to the whole Rose and Finn story in The Last Jedi. That story really is the great journey of Rose and Finn, aka how BB-8 saves their ass along the way. BB-8 gets them out of jail. BB-8 keeps them alive on the Star Destroyer. Yeah, without BB-8, those two would have been fried. The hero of The Last Jedi. BB-8.
They'd be sweeping up with Broom Boy if it weren't for
Pretty much.
BB-8. All right, Kier, you got to close it out. There are like 25 people that are still
Yeah.
probably available.
I know this is a toughie because I have this last pick, and I feel like I'm leaving people out there if I don't. But I mean, I got to go with the one that was recently made canon. I'm going with Darth Bane. I mean, without Darth Bane, you don't have Palpatine. He taught him everything, and ultimately Palpatine killed him.
Well,
I mean-
that's Plagueis.
Oh yeah, you're right. All right, well, I'm going Darth Bane, rule of two. That's still what they believe in, Sith. So yeah, I'm getting things confused here. Yeah, going Darth Bane still. Rolling with it.
Bane and Plagueis are great.
The Sith of Sith.
And like, I'm glad they dragged them both into canon, which is
Yeah.
But yeah, Bane made canon by a statue in
That was it.
in the Rise of
It
Skywalker.
include him.
We left C-3PO off.
We did.
I know.
I mean,
I went the other droid.
I think we're fine with that, though.
Yeah.
He's so slow moving,
He doesn't bring much to my team. I don't know.
So some of the on my top 50 that are best available: Ezra Bridger, we mentioned. Kuil, I Have Spoken.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Chirrut Imwe, I Am With the Force and the Force is
Force
with
is
me.
with me.
Love him, yeah.
Sheraton Bays I had on my list.
Poe Dameron.
Yep.
And also another deep cut because I just think he's one of the best bounty hunters out there and really gave the Jedi a run for their money is Cad Bane.
Oh yeah, Cad Bane.
Cad Bane was those episodes are great in Clone Wars. Those are some of the top ones that I had left on my list that nobody drafted.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had Boba Fett, Finn, Cassian Andor,
Okay, yeah, Cassian's up there too.
Mon Mothma.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
She was on my list.
I was debating. That was going to be my last pick.
I had both ID units, 11 and 88.
Oh yeah.
I had Kier's guy Bosk,
Yeah, oh, I love Bosk. He's on my list.
Admiral Holdo.
Oh
Yeah.
I had her on my list too. She had like the ultimate kamikaze moment, and Laura Dern. I mean,
yeah.
Enfys Nest. I had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had. I had a whole bunch of other guys, but
Yeah.
who you guys have?
I had Zeb.
I like Zab. Yeah, Zab's a good one.
Because he's part of the muscle, but I had Chewbacca, so I went with just one muscle.
Yeah.
Saw Gerrera.
So,
yeah.
Captain Phasma.
See,
She was on my list. They
thought
could
they
have
could've
handled
done
her so
more.
much better.
Yeah. And of course, Jar Jar. On there.
And he's on there.
I also had an handmaiden of Amidala because, it doesn't matter which one, just anyone.
He had several.
One that died.
Yeah,
We'll
he
give it to
allowed
her.
several of them to perish as well.
I'm looking at one on your list that
Mhm.
I'm loving is Babu Frick.
Oh, Babu.
Is on-
He's on there. He's on mine.
Oh, so cute.
Mainly because when I saw the movie, I was on some edibles, and when he kicked in, I couldn't stop laughing. Like, I was just sitting there. I turned to my buddy, and we just looked at each other and just started dying. I was like, okay, that's it. That's my movie.
I love where he's on the phone, like, okay.
So some of my leftovers here, Bail Organa.
Good one.
Mhm.
Let's see, I have a very 108 thick Jack Porkins, dies in the Battle of Yavin. Also, another 108 thick man is Malakili. He is the, yes,
He's
you
the
know,
guy with the Rancor, right?
Rancor. The saddest scene in all of Star Wars is when that Rancor dies, honestly. Looking at his face, and I tweeted this when I watched the movies in like December. I watched them over again. I was like, this is the saddest scene in all of Star Wars. This man loved his pet Rancor. And he's just sitting there, no shirt on, like 108 thick. I loved it, but I was like, this is so sad. Also had Clegg Lars on my list. I mean, he bought Anakin's, her rights to slavery, Anakin's mom. So there's kind of like a story arc there. Like, she got kidnapped by the Tusken Raiders or whatever. And he kind of searched for her, but didn't really put much effort into it. I guess he couldn't move. He was in the wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's from trying to go get her, right? Like
Yeah, from trying to get her, but then he's just like, yeah, we gave up. Like, forget it. So that kind of pissed off Anakin. Then he goes on this whole rampage. And he kills the whole Raider camp. And then, he also, his son Owen ends up being the father of, the uncle to Luke. So he ties in there. Quinlan Voss.
Oh yeah.
And I think you guys covered all the other ones. Oh, Chopper. We forgot about Chopper.
Oh, Chopper's a good one.
Such an
Yeah.
amazing droid. And that was it other than the ones you guys covered.
Yeah, you guys had a few, some additional ladies on my list. Kira,
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we
Kira.
didn't really get to her. Yaddle.
Yes.
And I think the last one, actually, Shmi Skywalker.
Mm.
Oh,
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
was she so one with the Force that we had some like immaculate conception going on? Like, that's what I need to know.
I
But
mean,
lastly,
Palpatine.
yeah. But then lastly was Barriss Offee, because I don't think you get Ahsoka without her.
oh yeah. Barriss Offee. That's it.
Which one is that?
That's the one that tried to frame Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Frame.
Yes.
Deep cut again.
Oh, yes. Oh, man, I really liked her until that happened. Yeah.
I think we mentioned Bo-Katan, right? And then Mother Talzin is one other.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, who else did I have? You know what? No one had, which is funny. I think Rise of Skywalker ruined this character for everybody, but was Snoke.
Oh, man.
He probably would have made my bad guy list, but
Then you
They
realize
should have
there's
just
like,
made it as like this was Palpatine's projection. Just
you
like it
realize
was Luke's
there's like
projection,
30 of
right?
them in his like lab.
yeah,
30 Snokes.
I had the Bendu on there. I thought it was a really good character.
Yeah. I had Father from the Mortis planet. I mean, he's the ultimate power wielder. Like, Jedi, their forces don't work on him.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Those
That
episodes are
that
great.
arc is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just threw it in there, and they're like, "No, we're never gonna talk about it again."
Well,
No,
they?
it's important in Rebels.
yeah.
Okay.
It's in Clone Wars too. I mean, you might want to rewatch the last episode, but
Okay.
but also I had one character that is only in the books, and this character is so ridiculous that I just loved it in the books. It's Mr. Bones. It's in the
The
aftermath.
name alone is just great.
It's a B1 droid.
Yes.
That's like repurposed, but it's insane. It's like it's if you want to get a little
Google
bit
that.
on it, just YouTube Mr. Bones Star Wars.
Yeah.
The
What else is
story
gonna come up if
is
you
wild.
if you were to just Google Mr.
But-
Bones? What else would?
Well, no, I didn't say just Google Mr. Bones. I said go to YouTube and say Mr.
Oh,
Bones.
did we have on somebody's list IG-11?
Yeah, I
Taika
had
Waititi
1911
droid?
and 88. I thought
Okay.
both of them I think are worthy, but IG-11 is just far superior. Like Taika Waititi really did something awesome with that character.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only other one I have that I think is of note is Moff Gideon. We didn't get.
Yeah. But I think if we do this draft next year, that's someone that might be in consideration if this draft expands to 50 picks.
Yeah.
Like we need a little bit more. Like that The Mandalorian did a great job of a little bit of intrigue of, okay, this guy, even though the Empire's done, he's got a crew, he's got a TIE fighter. How did he get the Darksaber from the Mandalorians? I think this is all going to tie together on how that story works. So I think if we have this conversation next year and after seeing the season 2 of Mandalorian, he's one of those people that'll climb. I'm being Mel Kiper again. He's got the ability. I'm up on draft list next year.
Yeah, he needs one more year to cook, and he comes out next year. Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited for more Moff Gus. So excited.
I have no idea what we'll think of some of the characters a year from now. It should be very interesting. And then a year after that, because I think Kenobi is out the following year.
Yeah.
So there's probably going to be even more new characters.
And who knows when Taika Waititi's movies are gonna start building up, and what maybe is it new? Are we going back in time to the old Republic? It'd be really interesting to see on what direction he wants to go or is given. But yeah, I'm excited for the next couple of years for Star Wars. I think there's awesome content coming.
Yeah, series of
for
books. Kier, you'll be drafting Loden Greatstorm next year. That will be in the is this a Star Wars character or porn star draft.
Loaded. Yeah.
Yes, I like that.
And I think
We should just do that next year.
that might be the perfect place to end this. So guys, thanks for jumping on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was very fun.
I can't believe how many Star Wars characters I'm looking at that we didn't draft. And we drafted 40. So we'll see what next year brings. But Josh, just let me know when you're ready for that Star Wars podcast. We'll get that spun up.
Yeah, episode 1. How they screwed up the last 3 movies. Runtime 4 hours and 53 minutes.
I mean, that's a standard 108 podcast. So I don't
It's true.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Adios.
Bye,
Been a pleasure.
guys.